we can be better? Do you think we can be better? Do you think we can be better?
How's this? How's this? How's this? How's this? Anyways, all right. Sorry about that, guys. It's past my bedtime for Emma too. I'm here streaming. I think that this is what I was trying to do. I think that at first, actually, I was just joking. I was actually just kidding by not having audio at the beginning, and then I tried to click the button to go, and I accidentally clicked the wrong button to make it. So the first part was a joke. The second part was real, and I thought that you guys were still on the first part. Ah, yeah. Anyways, all right. So we're live. Everything's good now. I'm glad that you guys liked the intro. I was basically an April Fool's joke, yes, and then it was a April Fool's joke on myself. Anyways, I just wanted to say thanks for being here. This is a cPanel thing. I'll explain what that means here in a second, but thanks for watching and everybody in the chat for commenting. And I know that this is a later time than the other times you've seen me go live. Actually, I kind of like it. It takes a lot of the pressure out. If I'm out or something, I don't have to run back and get it on. I was going to tell you guys that sometimes, for some reason, YouTube, they're trying to get you to use a different kind of beta dashboard thing. And so the first part actually freaked me out because I said I was live, but it says like an error occurred. Please try again later. So that's just stuff. But there we go. You can hear me. Let me see what's going on here. I'm going to introduce you to the person. I'm glad you saw that. I saw that jelly duck, by the way. I'm going to bring on my cPanel guest for the day just because this is, I just want to make sure everything's good. Audio's gone. Here we go. Hold on a second. Hey, what's up, Creaky? Can you hear me?
Hey, Danny Black.
Can you hear me, buddy?
What's going on? Yeah, I couldn't at the start. Your joke was epic in many ways.
It was a joke, and then I screwed that on. And then they're playing a joke on me. You suck. I hate reading the chat sometimes. They're jerks,
Don't
you know?
read the chat. Stay out of the chat.
You guys know that's Creaky. That's me. I'm in Brisbane. He's in Melbourne. So this is something we kind of want to do. It's not necessarily, it might not be Creaky every time. It might not be me every time, but it's something I missed when the whole CreatorCast thing kind of stopped. I know that some of you think this is like CreatorCast 3.0. But it's not. It's going to be more topical focused. We're going to talk about things that are happening this week, bring on something like some visuals, and also, just have some fun. You having fun, Creaky?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be back live on the air. And I think just because there's a couple of guys going live that used to go live somewhere else doesn't mean it's not a recreation. I mean, there might be things that we take from Creator Cast. I think Creator Cast was great while it lasted in its form, but that's life. Some things fade away and other things grow, and that's where opportunity comes from. So
yeah, absolutely.
Don't sweat it too much.
Yeah, it's to me, it just seems like there was a falling out, and it became too much especially when I was traveling, and I didn't really make a big fuss about it. I didn't really kind of broadcast my opinion about it. It was just I remember I was in Fremantle exploring with Emma, and it was just all these messages coming through about what was going on. I was just like, you know what, I wanted this to be super fun and casual, and actually, like have these kind of conversations that we can have and dive into topics and get people's opinions, and they can get our opinions as well. And just kind of like a podcast kind of a thing. And it became a little bit too much, and I just wanted to focus on my channels, and here we are. And I have TPG internet right now, so I'm hoping it should be going at 1080. This is a 1080 stream. This is probably like one of the first ones on the office.
Hold on to your hats. I don't have any stage makeup on for 1080.
Oh crap! I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah,
that was epic. By the way,
Ben Wilson nailed it. Just quite. It says cPanel stands for Creaky Panel. You may have noticed out there, anyone who has any of the 150 subscribers that I have on YouTube, because I'm not there very often, may have noticed that I've changed the name of my channel from Creaky to Jonathan Creek. I grew up in the absence. Put on my big boy pants.
I do wonder about that sometimes for my channel. I'm like, can I be Danny? I mean, Danny Black is Danny Black, but Danny is like, when you grow up a little bit, you can't be Danny, and I can't be a Dan.
Danny DeVito is Danny DeVito. Are you saying that you're too good for Danny DeVito?
Danny Glover, I guess Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, he's a dude.
He is a dude. But you're saying their last names. You're not just saying Danny.
Danny Black.
Exactly. All right. Anyways, so here's how it's going to work in the chat. We're going to, you probably saw that. If you write the @X here's Danny Black, or and you can even do Jonathan Creek. Are you in the chat right now, Jonathan? Can you type something? Then you'll get our attention, and we can bring stuff up. At the same time, we're probably like, we won't be like focusing and getting distracted by the chat. But we want to jump into some topics. You gonna put some headphones on now?
Yeah, I'm gonna put some headphones on. I'm finding it a little bit hard to follow you at times.
Okay.
It's okay. Hold on. Hopefully it doesn't blow things out here. Look at they're Boba Fett headphones for the Star Wars fans out there. Have a look at that.
Nice. I like him. There's some music on back here. Did he just die? I like how he's about to say, hopefully that didn't. So let's see what happens here. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. Creaky, you fix yourself up, man. It's a nice image, though. He's probably still talking. He's probably doing what I did. He's going to have to leave and then come back. That's what's going to happen. All right. So anyways, we wanted to talk about a couple topics, some of the things that were just happening this week for us. And then we want to talk about like the cool, like big topics. Here we go. He's left. Now he's coming back in. This is going to be great. So as far as, guess what? Tomorrow I'm leaving. I'm heading to Sydney for a night. There you are. Yeah. What are you doing there? Creaky is hard. I mean, tech is hard for Creaky. Anyways, all right. Thanks for it. What are you doing, buddy? I feel like you're deaf. All right, guys. I can hear him, so I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'm getting feedback. But anyway, let's just roll on. Show must go on.
Yeah, the show will go on. I'm just gonna say that what we're doing this week. I'm leaving for Sydney tomorrow. I'm taking my sister out to the opera house and Blue Mountains and staying with some friends, people in the chat. I think Lenka, she's in the chat. We're staying with them. We're gonna hang out with them. You've seen them on maybe a video from Where's Danny Black. So, but yeah, some other things. Creaky, what's going on? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Fighting the daily procrastination battle, I suppose, with so many things in different directions. So, no, other than that, I think life's good. I think there's a lot of things happening in the digital space that's interesting. I think there's a lot of moves being made by the bigger players in social media and tech. But I think if you're looking at what's been going on this week, there's been some big things happening this week in the world of pop culture. I don't think you can go past the Game of Thrones. Not that I watch it. I know.
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that in a second. I just wanted to say what else is going on this week before when we're talking about and what happened this past week too. Yeah.
Oh well, my girls they've been excelling in sport this week, which is great. As a proud dad, they're the moments you remember. We had cross country today, so I have to do some work after this stream to catch up for the time I spent at cross country. But other than that, just building things. I'm in this building stage of post TEDx and a bit of a shift in I'm not going to dine out on TEDx forever, but I will while I can. Just a few different opportunities are coming my way, and I'm just making sure I make the most of those, and then also planning to make a lot more content. I know I've said that before and a lot of times, but I've actually got a list here if you're interested. Not that anyone would be, but I've workshopped every video that I'm going to be making in the next. I'm not going to hold it up there for too long. I want to let the secret out. So just getting myself out there. So that's a struggle for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, before I jump in, I want to say hi to some people in the chat. But before I do that, I just want, if everybody just writes hi, then I'll say hi back to you. And as they're doing that, I wanted to say I had a great time. I did a live stream here on this channel with the koala. Well, actually, no, with the kangaroos, but I did get to hold the koala for the first time, which was super fun. Jay was here and we did that live stream here. That was a lot of fun as well. Like a lot of people were telling me, like, me and Jay, Jay's just really good at this interview thing. Like, he sat down with me and Emma and Emma's brother and my sister, and they all felt like it was handled very professionally. So great job, Jay. That was really fun. And Jay will be on cPanel sometime, I'm sure. We'll see how that goes. So here we go in the chat. Look at all these people. Wow. So hip hoop hooray, of course. That's Emma.
Hey, Hendrick's in the chat.
Xander Round.
Hello, Hendrick.
I feel like this is a good time for Xander Round as well. Emiliano, Chandy, Lenka. Lenka, we'll see you tomorrow. Adelaide Crows are the best there. Mark Insby, we say, oh, hi, Mark. Bridget, Jelly Duck, you did say you enjoyed my recommendation for Live Air Solo. I did see that you posted a video on how to use it. That was awesome. Great job with that. Hendrick, yeah, Walker, Ben, and I'm not going to say hi to Stephen McLaughlin because he wrote Elephant. So there we go. Shiloh Rose and Davo and Jelly Duck, we said hi. Sam Wong said he wasn't going to, I think he said he wasn't going to, there's okay. It's 13:14 here. That's 1:14. I have to do that in my head. That's so bad. All right. So there we go. I'm going to Sydney tomorrow. I might do a live stream either tomorrow or the next day. It's kind of fun getting back into this live stream thing. I've been really bad. I had the worst day today when you're talking about procrastinating. I mean, my sister's in town, so it's hard to just sit down and edit. And like, I'm editing stuff that I shot like back in March.
Oh, yeah.
And that is really, really hard. Like stuff that like when I shot it, I had certain reasons I shot it ways, and I remembered that I was going to edit it this way, and then I have to go back and fix it. And so it's like I can't really move on until I get back to it. And Chandy.
But do you find when you go back to those ones, you find that you're no longer as motivated, like you've missed the moment? in a sense.
Yeah, I do feel like that. I feel like I cared about it more then, and now I'm here. I got this office. I'm running an eGPU. I'm doing all this cool stuff, and I want to share that stuff. And I also want to kind of get settled here a little bit too before I do that. So like even going to Sydney tomorrow, I'll get some like shots and do like a live stream or something. But I'm not gonna like do a full video on being in Sydney just because I don't know if I can keep up with it. It's just gonna be too much on my brain. So that's the tricky part. 21,000 people watching. Thanks for that. So yeah, maybe we could do a meetup. If you're in Sydney area and you want to do a meetup for the Fanatics, maybe tomorrow night, that'd be fun. We can meet up at a bar downtown, do something like that. If you're not in Sydney tomorrow, just
come down and meet Danny's sister.
Yeah, come down and meet my sister. So now let's jump into some big topics for this week really quick before we dive into deeper topics. But you mentioned Game of Thrones, and I think this is funny because is
this the segment that I went to early on?
You pre-segmented, and
we need a fancy little intro. Now, I will explain to you that if I'm leaning into my computer, it's because when I stuck my headphones in and it froze, and I came back in, for some reason my Mac has dropped the audio levels right down. So, if you're seeing a lot of my ear, I'm just trying to listen. I don't want to start my computer again because the show will go on. So, big topics of the week. Let me get off. Game of Thrones.
Well, Game of Thrones. That was. I don't want to spoil anything.
And by the way, no spoilers here for any of the topics we're talking about that involve TV series or movies.
No, we won't spoil anything. But I will say that was probably that was such an intense episode. I know I was kind of messaging with Jay beforehand. He told me he watched it. And he was like, dude, that's insane. And I messaged him in the middle of it. I was like, I'm 15 minutes in and I'm about to die. Like it was insane to the point that my sister has never seen Game of Thrones. And she watched that episode with us. And at the end, she was like, wow, I want to watch. She's already watched the whole first season. Like,
but hold on a minute.
That's what she's doing in Australia.
So you're saying that the first episode your sister watched, I'm struggling to get past the fact that she's flown halfway around the world. As we can see with this map that I prepared earlier, she's flown, where are we? She's flown from way over there to way down there.
Yeah, right there. Oh, yep, sure.
Just to watch a whole season of Game of Thrones in the 2 days that she's been here. So she really could just stayed at home and Skyped you, or Mimo called you. Because we know Mimo's the superior product, don't we, Danny?
Yep.
But
hold on to your hats.
But hold on. You let her watch the episode that just came out, which I believe is a movie-length episode. It's considered the most important, pivotal episode of the whole series, and you let her watch it out of sequence.
I didn't let her do anything. She can do whatever she wants. But at the same time, if she wasn't going to watch Game of Thrones either way, like she wasn't going to start from the beginning if she didn't watch that. So I'm saying, like, even her watching it, that's probably why I was procrastinating a little bit too, is I'd walk by and there's parts of it I was watching. I'm like, I didn't realize this was happening. I forgot about this part. Anyways, a lot of people don't watch it, and that's fine. We're not going to talk about this all night. But you guys in the chat that don't watch it, yes, I'm going to be on the Elvis cruise, by the way. I did see that. And Joe, what's up? And you guys are awesome. Everybody here is awesome. You guys are fantastic people.
But it's amazing how much airtime that show has taken up, considering that, look, I believe it's only available, on Foxtel and Netflix, or where's it available here?
I don't want to reveal my sources of where I get it. But I think it was HBO Go. No, I didn't say that. It's just, I just said,
YouTubing
I didn't say anything.
But if you were traditionally watching it here, it's on pay for platforms, right? It's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but there's only 6 episodes this season. This last season. This is the very last season.
Yeah. So to think about all the inches and the time that free to air media is giving a show that is essentially on a competitor is crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shandy. It's on Foxtel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Foxtel. There we go. Yeah, so, well, there's that one. And then the other big one that came out was Endgame.
Ah, yeah, the Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, and that
amazing.
like what did it,
$1.2 billion it's taken. And when did it come
Yeah.
out? Last Thursday. So a week. It's the 17th highest grossing movie of all time. And it's only
Wow.
been out a week. The problem that
Wow.
I've got is I've seen Captain America and I've seen some of the Spider-Mans. I want to know, and Iron Man, I want to know, can I go and watch Avengers Endgame, or are there some movies that some Avenger movies that I have to watch before I can watch this one? So like if it was Star Wars, for example, you got to watch Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in order. There are people who watch it out of order, the different butcher's cuts or whatever they call them. But with the Avengers Endgame, and Danny, have you seen all the Avengers?
I have, except for Captain Marvel, and that's the one I want to know if I should see that before I watch Endgame.
So I want to know.
And shout out to Adelaide Crow's the best, asking why people watch so much nerdy stuff. And Game of Thrones sounds nerdy, but it's actually not. And it's the whole premise of it sounds so nerdy, and so does Avengers. But I actually enjoy it more for the cinematic side of it. Like they do they take something very complicated to turn it to make a story out of, and they do it really well. That's why it's so popular. That's why like Justice League and Suicide Squads were terrible, because they couldn't put that right formula together. Which should be a creaky
and
video
there
in
is
the
a
future.
formula to these, and I think what we're seeing, particularly if you look at Hollywood, is that the comic book studios are dominating. They're churning out a lot of content, but they're continually pushing the boundaries of CGI and special effects. And I don't want to go boasting, but I was lucky enough to be on the sets of Rise of the Planet of the Apes when they were filming in New Zealand. And that was probably 5 years ago, and the amount that they've moved and progressed since then, some of the things that you see, it's crazy. I mean, I took my kids only last week to see Dumbo, and it's a Disney film, so I love Disney, so I was right into that, and the structures of it, and they kept it true to the original formats. But just even the special effects and the way that they were able to animate that movie and keep it so smooth and so obvious is just incredible. And then I flick over to Foxtel and watch something like Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark, and you see this bad green screen with bleeding, and it's hilarious that as kids we just thought that was incredible, and we didn't see it for its faults, and we're spoiled now, I think.
Borderline porn. It depends. I mean,
Dumbo's right.
Yeah.
Now, Danny, you're gonna have to
Dumbo,
speak up a bit, mate, because I can't hear you. But that's that may be because
because you didn't. What's funny is Creaky and I got on here 30 minutes before, and then you should have probably resolved all these issues before that. But okay, so Lego Movie came out.
But when we were
Dumbo,
on 30
I didn't see that
minutes
movie.
When we were on 30 minutes before, I plugged my headphones in while we were talking, and it didn't make any difference. It's the curse.
Yeah, it's the curse.
Creator curse.
I also, we have to figure something out. Like in the cPanel world, this is our first episode of this, and if you like it, I hope you do like it. It'd be fun to bring it back and keep it going. I just, your headspace, like I can't get that close to the camera. That's the tricky part. I'm trying to. Can I get that close? I want to match your headspace there. No? Okay. There we go. Actually, now we look like stupid twins. Like we got the glasses and the hat. Oh, Creaky. Never mind. Go back to where you were.
See, my setup is I've got a mechanical desk that goes up and down, and so basically when I do these
from where? Where'd you get that kit? Where'd you get it from?
IKEA.
You got it. Oh, you got. Is it the curved one?
Yeah, it's the one that goes around a corner.
Ah, nice.
It's a corner desk, but the beauty of it is I can stand here like I'm at a bar and talk. The only problem is that at the moment I've got the camera sitting on the desk. If I wobble it, everything wobbles. But it's where I feel most comfortable when I'm talking, because I like to move legs and move
Yeah.
around. So you're never ever going to get a steady headspace with me. But I think, and this is the importance of, when you're online and you're streaming, is that you find yourself in a comfortable environment so you can be authentic. And I think a lot of people put themselves in false environments. And so when they come to broadcast, they struggle to be who they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, I fixed all my wobble situation by adding a secondary thing that I'll have to do a tour of that
I've
at
still
some
got
point.
wobbling
But
issues, but that's about running around the block more than anything else.
all right. Yeah, don't talk to Danny
Don't
about
talk to
the wobble.
Danny about
Yes.
the wobble, says Emma.
The other thing, okay, just mentioning, I think we have a couple more small topics here that we want to bring up. But I really wanted to congratulate Mark Insby on working that game, the Anzac Day game. I know I think I might have congratulated him before with Jay, but that's fantastic, and he's in the chat right now. And I thought that was what a cool experience. I'd love to get him on a live stream at some point, maybe in the next cPanel or something like that, and hear that experience, like hear what it was like to do that.
It'll have to be the E.
Because that would be amazing. Oh, is that what's happening? So it's going to be whoever's the counterpart.
The surname of whoever's on.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But I must
Sure.
admit, and
Sure.
Danny, I don't know how much you follow AFL football or how much you get up in Brisbane. I know that you follow Mark and what he's doing, but for those who don't know, Mark Ensby is a goal umpire in the AFL, and he was lucky enough to be a goal umpire on the Anzac Day match, which is probably the second biggest match of the year in terms of tradition in the AFL. So it's behind the grand final. And not only that, there was a moment in the game where the Essendon forward, Joe Danaher, who came into the team late and is a bit of a fan favourite and a bit of a freak, and whose grandfather only died this week. And Joe Danaher managed to drop a bomb from outside 50 on the boundary to bring Essendon right back into the game, and it was at Mark's end of the grounds. So forevermore, they will be playing that goal, that highlight, and they will always be showing the goal umpire indicating that it was a goal, and that is our Mark Ensby, and we're very proud of him for being able to do that, because it was a tough call in a pressure moment, and
he did the right. He picked the
it.
right one. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations, cPanel Con. I like that. That's funny. Okay, jumping topics here now. We wanted to let's just do this one really, really quickly. But the Fold, the Samsung Fold, Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
You were saying. Tell me what your thoughts about that.
Well, it's copping a lot of heat for being a failure, and I think it's pretty obvious if you get if you're at spending any time on YouTube at all, following any sort of tech review channels, you're going to have had or seen feedback about the Samsung Fold, and also a lot of chatter in mainstream media around the tech sections about the Samsung Fold. And those who don't know, is that Samsung developed a phone that like an iPhone, but it's a Samsung Galaxy phone, but it folds together, two screens, and folds out. And we probably should have got a screenshot up and shared it, but there's been some problems with the screens. There was a protective film on top of the screen to keep it safe or to keep it together, but a lot of the creators or a lot of the tech reviewers thought that it was a screen protector and peeled it off, and then when they peeled it off, it compromised the phone itself, and the screen ended up cracking or breaking. So Samsung has now delayed the release of that phone, even though people have pre-ordered it and paid for it. And there's a lot of chat about it being a flop, and you'll even see Ben Wilson in the comments now calling it the Galaxy Flop 2.0. And for me, did this one fail? Yes. Has it got some problems? Yes. But I would rather see big tech giants like this pushing the boundaries to create new technology, because let's face it, when was the last time that we had a new design for a phone? I mean, the iPhone changed the game when it came out. whatever that was, more than about 10 years ago, I think it was, because we just had the X 11 years ago. But since then, phones have pretty much followed the same format. I'd like to go back to the good old days of the early 2000s or the mid 2000s where, you had a whole different range of phones. Like you had the BlackBerry with the QWERTY keyboard, you had the sliding, I think they were Sony's, and then you had the Motorola Razr Flips, which I know they're making a retro version for modern phones, for modern
I saw that.
5G networks. But I just think, I think everyone was a bit too quick to jump onto Samsung and give them a hammering for putting out a phone that's, it's got an issue, when, I'd rather look at it and keep it positive and say, well, at least they're trying to give us something different.
Yeah, well, for me, it's weird because, well, two things. One, I'm watching all of these reviews. I'm watching all of these, what's happening with this thing. And to be honest, I was never planning on getting it, but somehow I'm watching all of this stuff. I wonder if it's even maybe just a good tactic. Maybe they were never planning to release it, but they were just trying to get the attention. I'm sure that's not true, but because it's, I mean, bad attention can be good attention at some point. But I also think that like if a company like Apple had that similar problem, I feel like people would have just been way harsher instead of like they're trying to innovate. People would have just been like, no, that's stupid. Like they would have, like the notch or whatever. I just think that I don't know. I just think it's funny that I watch all that stuff first of all, and then people were very, very forgiving on it for releasing a product way before it was, should have came out.
So do you think Apple would have got a better run than Samsung if they?
No,
made the
I
same
think people
phone
would
with
have
the same faults?
like the bend gate and like the antenna thing, like that was huge backlash. I mean, I guess you can't say it was that bad because I mean they're still like making so much money, so it's not a big deal. We don't need to talk about the Fold all night, but I just think that it was I would like to, like you said, take me back to the good old days.
Right? Bendgate.
Yeah.
iPhone 6. Right?
Yeah.
Here it is. It's a bit of metal and a bit of glass. If you sit on it, it will break.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
I don't know why. That's
Peace
a
out,
scandal.
Emiliano. See you later. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we watch people with the iPad Pro. Look at how much it can break, and they break it. And it's like that's not what you're supposed to do to it. Like you're supposed to take care of it. I don't know. I just think it's funny that I even care that much about something like that. But all right, let's move on because this is the cPanel thing isn't going to be like a 2-hour long discussion.
Sorry, Bridget. The Samsung Fold. You can get it in Australia, but it's on pre-order because they're redesigning it.
They're redesigning it. They're making it not fold.
Making it not break.
Yeah. By the way, I thought this was funny today. I don't want to be negative about companies and stuff like that. But I ordered something from JB Hi-Fi. I ordered a bunch of stuff from Amazon and JB Hi-Fi just to get this room ready. And so JB Hi-Fi, I don't know if you know this, but it comes from they use a company called Toll to ship.
Yeah, just stop. I'm going to stop you there. Don't give me a bad story about JB Hi-Fi and their deliveries because I only just ordered some stuff from JB Hi-Fi online today. You're making me nervous. You're making me very nervous right now, Danny.
Well, listen to this. Okay, so I got an email, a text message actually that said your package is on the truck, ready for delivery today. So I waited at home all day for this thing, for this. Actually, there was like a secondary mic. I did that name that tune with Jasper, and I loved how he had that effect. It was like round one, and I have a microphone that's going to be dedicated just to that, and I was going to use it tonight. So I was pumped. I get it today. I even paid a little bit extra money to get it delivered today. So Toll, they send me a text message at the end of the day after everything's been done. Sorry, we missed you because you weren't home. So you have to pick it up at our facility or something like that, which is like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes away. But I was like, I was here. That's what a scam. And I looked online. This is the funny part. So I looked online and look at this. Here, this is look at their customer rating
1 star.
for Toll.
Oh my
Look
god!
at
Hold on,
that.
stop. Go back. Go back.
Go back where?
2,609 1-star rating.
2,609. Yeah, 1
And
star,
you go
and
back,
it's just
and you go back again. Go back to the. Let's go back. I love numbers. Let's go back to the numbers.
okay. Yep.
I want to know how many staff are in head office at Toll, because I'm tipping right now there's about 79.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So I saw that, but here's the thing: you can't control, what your JB Hi-Fi. You if you buy it, you can't say I want it to go through Oz Post or whatever. But I actually wrote to JB Hi-Fi and I was like, hey, I was expecting to get this product today, and I'm kind of bummed that this is my first online delivery from you, or online purchase from you guys, and basically saying, look at Toll's reputation's bad. Why would you really want to go with that? I thought that was funny. I waited all day for this thing and it didn't show up. And then I saw those comments and I just thought that was too funny. If anybody in the chat has ever had a similar experience, I'd love to hear it. And I did take the Toll ship to Tassie. You are absolutely right. Good memory with that. Adelaide Crows are the best. That was actually really nice. But I think the scam is it's probably cheaper for them to just say that they deliver, that they showed up at everyone's house, but it's just at the facility. They take all their packages to the facility and they don't waste the fuel or whatever. They just take them. They send those text messages out. And then if people get mad, they get mad. And what's it going to do to the reputation? It's already terrible.
Yeah, I think, not knowing about Toll specifically, but I think there is a run of, I suppose, for a better word, freelance delivery people. And, I just wonder what sort of quality control they do in regards to those. I'm sure there's some really good ones and really efficient ones, but I wonder whether, if you're getting, disinterested students who are just trying to get a few bucks, how much they would care at delivering. I mean, it's either, the guy didn't come past your house, or you had Game of Thrones up too loud and you never heard him knock on the door. But I know
that didn't happen.
from my own experience, where I am right now, my office is like right at the back of my house, and my front gate is a security gate, so they have to press the button. And I know that if as soon as I hear that gate bell ring, I have to sprint. I literally have to sprint to get to the
Otherwise, they
gate
take off
before the guy gets in his car and disappears, because they wait a split second. I can see him on camera. And it's like, wait, I'm coming. And sometimes you just get them as they're pulling away. No mucking around. But I think it's a bit rich if, I think JB Hi-Fi, just from a brand perspective, really need to look at that and at least give another option. I mean, I know places like Officeworks allow you to get your product delivered to the local Officeworks store.
I should have done that with JB Hi-Fi. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, but
I didn't
JB
know if that was
Hi-Fi,
an option.
the stuff I ordered today from JB, I couldn't get the in-store delivery. It wasn't an option. The only option I had was Toll. And let me tell you, if I miss the Toll delivery, I think I've actually got to go out to the airport in Melbourne, and that's like 35 k's away.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, we did make friends with our Ozpost delivery guy, because we only moved about 3 minutes away from where we were living before. And then the post guy was like, weren't you guys living over there? And we're like, yeah, we're over here now. And he's just like, good friends. I was like, hey, here's my signature. Just if you need to leave a package, just you just sign it, throw it on the roof or something.
Actually, we've got quite a smart little operator. We've got just a neighborhood milk bar down here. So convenience store in your language, I presume. Really struggling to survive because we've got big shopping centers and 24-hour petrol stations and stuff. But they've actually started a service where you can get the packages delivered to them, and they sign for it. And I think they charge you like $1 a package that you get delivered to there, which I think is great. And it actually gets you into the milk bar, and hopefully you buy overpriced ice creams from them or something like that. But I think that's a great business idea because they're always open. They're open from 7 till 9. And I think that's quite entrepreneurial of them. So if you are a convenience store owner in the chat, there is another business opportunity for you.
Boom. Well, I'm going to segue to the next topic here. And before I do that, I'd love to know, as I'm running faster internet here at the house, got it installed today, which was good. It was the guy actually showed up today, put it in, and I'm running this at 1080 p, I believe, 1080p. So if you're watching in 1080p, I'd love to know how it looks. And so yeah, apparently, Creaky, you had some kind of topic about Aussie internet, right?
Australian internet. Not that we want to
Yeah, and what
revisit old caskets, I suppose, but Australian internet today, in terms of speed, now ranks behind Kazakhstan. So let's just
Oh,
put that
wow.
in perspective. That Borat has faster internet than us here in Australia.
Wow.
And Borat's not the kind
55th
of guy you want
slowest
to see in
internet in the world.
1080p or 4K, which you'll now be able to do in Kazakhstan because their internet's faster. But yeah, I think this
Look
whole
at how
NBN
sad this
thing
Australian is.
like trying to put toothpaste back in a tube. You know, you can't fix it. I know we're going through the installations in our street at the moment. My elderly neighbour, she's in her 90s. She called out to me today because she just had people come around and sign her up to get the NBN, and she wanted to know if I was getting it too, and I'm not, and that worries her a little bit. But my situation is that I'm on naked broadband through cable, and if I was to get the NBN, I'd actually be paying $40 more a month to go slower.
Wow. No, don't do that.
So there's no compelling
Singapore
offer
topped
for
the
me to
global list.
change. And I've
See,
had
this
all
is
the
funny
letters.
because
You're gonna
Singapore.
get disconnected. Oh, sorry, I keep talking over you because I can't hear you. But
No, it's okay. It's okay. By the way, the funny thing about we just started talking about, I think I dropped like 2 frames. 2 frames, that's not bad for good old 1080 stream, I suppose. That's it, 2 frames. But remember when I was in Singapore and I was live streaming from the top of that building, and they've topped the list with faster internet, but I kept dropping out on that one. That was really frustrating. But yeah,
I think the cricket
she's sad.
the cricket guys
She's
hit
bummed.
the nail on it. Sorry, mate.
You're not Australian unless you had to use 4G on your phone. Yeah,
the
at
cricket
home.
guy.
That's true.
Like I deal with that.
That is
If I'm
that's
watching
kind of true.
Facebook videos or YouTube videos, they'll play about 30 seconds, and then they'll just buffer. I'll go in, turn Wi-Fi off, switch to 4G, and never have a problem.
Buffer. I like that. Yeah, that's
Buffering.
that's just it seems like that's a common theme with a lot of people complaining about the internet out here. I think that for me it's actually quite funny because I've spent the last 11 years traveling, a lot of it on cruise ships. So the internet has always been garbage for me in the last 11 years. And then now, like I think when we were in Kangaroo Point, we had really, really fast internet, and I'm so mad at myself for never even thinking about streaming then. But yeah, I just I don't mind it. I just think it's already fast enough. I know that there's been problems and stuff like that, so I'm not. We won't talk about internet that often. I think we like lost.
I think we're dropping a few frames now.
I think so too.
As we talk about,
I swear
it
was listening. I swear it is. It listens to us. It says buffer. Is he what he said? Buffer. That's funny.
Buffer.
All right. Buffer.
It's the ghost
Buffer.
of Creator Cast.
You gotta wonder too. You like this is the thing is I would love to just try this out and see how long you should stream for, because it seems like the issues really happen after about 30 minutes. And then when you get to the 1 hour mark, it's just devastating. And it might be just like that. Buffer.
No,
I don't know.
I don't agree. I mean, no, I don't think so. I think it's what your computer can chew. And I think if your computer can't chew fast enough, or your internet can't chew fast enough, and your internet speed's really, as far as I understand it, and I may be wrong, I'm happy to be corrected, but if everyone around you is on the same internet service, then that's it. You slow down. And when I first moved to where I am now, it was an aging neighborhood, and a lot of them were on ADSL, and all of a sudden here I was with broadband, and the broadband was never a problem, But now that they've built a whole lot of apartment blocks up at the top of the hill, and we're talking 17 to 20-story student accommodation. I know that when
Yeah.
Fortnite boomed, and every
Oh
international
yeah, that
student
would
or
have been.
every student living in the student accommodations was playing Fortnite, my internet
Mhm.
just got sucked dry. So that's what I'm hoping is everyone switches to the NBN and I can stay on my cable all by myself and I'll have, bulletproof, super fast cable internet.
Yeah, that would be that's the dream. That is the dream. It's so funny. By the way, we're reading your comments, and on this cPanel thing, we don't want to we don't want to bring up every comment. If there's something important you want to say, make sure you just tag either me or Jonathan Creek so we can see it shows up red for us and we can really see it. Because I know the funny part about the chat is that sometimes people talk to each other, and so it's just hard to read it and carry on. But we wanted to talk about one more topic, I think, for tonight. And what was that one?
Pewds. Yeah.
That's right.
I think this is big.
Yeah.
I think this is a big moment in YouTube. I think it's a big moment in creator world. Because I think this guy's carrying a lot of responsibility for something that was completely out of his control. And, he's made the decision now that obviously he had the sub to PewDiePie meme. It's something that I happily myself spruiked to a room full of Indian students that I was presenting a keynote to a couple of weeks ago.
Everybody about that. Tell everybody about that story because that's actually pretty funny. It's pretty funny what you did. But
well,
yeah,
obviously, if you don't know, PewDiePie is the #1 subscribed channel on YouTube, and he's basically in a battle for that #1 spot with an Indian production company called T-Series. Now, T-Series has been accused of some pretty questionable tactics in the way that they're getting their subs. And so basically this battle started with PewDiePie back when he was around 20 million subs, and they're now not far away from 100 million subs each. And recently T-Series took over a couple of times and came back. But what happened is that the YouTube community decided that they wanted an individual creator to hold the #1 spot, not a corporation that was seemingly buying their way to #1. So a whole lot of creators started a meme called Sub to PewDiePie. It had his bro fist, and basically they were going around, as you can see, to all incredible places. If you remember back, there used to be a competition called Bang the Drum by Triple J, which is about just getting the Triple J logo out and about in really strange places. They did a similar thing with Sub to PewDiePie at the Super Bowl. There was guys with Sub to PewDiePie t-shirts that when they all lined up in the crowd, you could read it. They flew a flag, Sub to PewDiePie, I'm pretty sure, recently past the Statue of Liberty, I think only in the last couple of days, and it was massive. And so essentially for me, I thought, well, I'd have a bit of fun with this because I was presenting to a whole room of Indian students, and T-Series, as I mentioned, is an Indian production company. It's very popular. And so I did my whole keynote, and basically at the end, I asked them, if you've learned anything from me today, I want you to do one more thing. Do you agree? And they all said, yeah, we'll do one more thing for you. No worries, no worries. And the next slide that popped up was Sub to PewDiePie. And the reaction was hilarious. It was half the room laughed and the other half of the room was going to riot because they'd taken offense to his more recent song. But in the end, they all laughed about it, and it was done in jest and goodwill. The twist, and I suppose the dark side to this whole Sub to PewDiePie meme, Danny, is that the Christchurch shooter, and this is probably the first incident, and not the first, it's certainly not the first incident, but it's the one that's attracted the most attention, is that before his incident, he did mention Sub to PewDiePie, and I think Felix PewDiePie took that pretty heavily, and now he's asked his community to stop the meme, stop the Sub to PewDiePie. Yes, I did, Shandy. The Sub to PewDiePie meme, he wants it to end. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
When you ask the internet to do something, they're not always
yeah, they're not. No.
They
No,
don't
they're
usually
not.
follow the rules. So it's
Well,
going to
he
be
said it in
interesting
his
to
own
see
video.
whether
He
he
said
can.
there's going to be some degenerates. I mean, you have 95 million people following you. Like, there's going to be some people that are going to, or just like even if when it comes to like the shooter, I think that he was using it more. He wasn't like I don't think he was really buying into the sub to PewDiePie. It was just more of a using it as a platform, like as a way to get some more attention. I don't
Oh,
know. I think
absolutely.
that
I think the guy was as abhorrent as the whole situation was. I think he was quite smart. He knew what buttons to push that were going to get wider attention, and I think we certainly haven't forgotten what happened in Christchurch, and we've since also had what's happened in Sri Lanka, and I think attention needs to be put on both of those incidents. But I think almost PewDiePie coming out now and saying, "I want this to die. I want this meme to die off," because of the link that it has to what happened in New Zealand, almost connects the incident to the meme more than it actually naturally does in most people's minds. I certainly don't think of Christchurch and what happened there when people say to me, sub to PewDiePie, I see it as a battle of people versus corporations. I see it for what it was originally. But I think we also have to understand the pressures that PewDiePie is under as the #1 subscribed channel on YouTube. He gets a lot of hate from mainstream media because obviously for them to survive, they want platforms like YouTube to not be successful. They certainly damaged him previously for
now
some comments he made
jumping off
while he was
jumping off
gaming.
of that, let me ask you something creaky, because the thing that I find most interesting about this whole thing is your theory about TV or New York Times, and TV. I don't know if you want me to even talk about this, but
Yeah.
you think that they want to take down the internet because you think that it's too hard to control.
Well, if you think about their business model, if you think about mainstream media's business model and how much money they've got in it, the biggest threat is the internet. That's why there's always these mainstream media reports about Facebook spying on your data, fake news.
Yeah.
You got to have a source. Every news channel in the world now is the source that you trust and all that sort of stuff. Well, here's the thing: if television, let's be honest about it. If television had the ability to gather data like the internet does, the TV stations would be doing it. In fact, the evidence is already there that they're starting apps and they're starting these on-demand streaming platforms that you get through your smart TVs. They don't let you watch those without signing up. So they're tracking your
Yeah.
data just as much as what they paint as, evil Facebook and evil Google. And so when there's successful people on platforms where they can fire a shot, they'll definitely be firing those shots to survive, to extend their survival. That's what they're trying to do. They're the ones doing the stories that don't let your kids have screen time. Well, there was none of those stories when I was a kid and sat in front of a TV for 6 hours every Saturday morning because there was no threat to TV at the time. They wanted you to do it.
Yeah. By the way, maybe on cPanel, cPanel for the future, cPanel for the future, we should have we should have like the conspiracy theory section of it.
No, I want to do a conspiracy theory channel with Emma. Hip hip hooray!
Oh yeah, okay. Who doesn't? Hula hoops are fake. They're not round. They're flat.
Hula hoops, they are flat.
I know. That's the conspiracy theory.
That's because they're on a flat.
No, but you're absolutely right. You're right about that. I feel what you're saying about the whole like the TV. TV is going down. They're losing this battle, and you could see that there's some way of the retaliation somehow, and who knows why or who's behind it all. It's interesting stuff. I love thinking about that. I spend probably way more time than I should watching those kind of videos on YouTube as well. But and then you get sucked into the rabbit hole and just keep watching more and more and more.
I come from a media background, as you know. I also come from a PR strategy experience, and Yeah, I think the advice that Felix is following, if it has come from advice and it's not just his gut feeling. I mean, I watched the video that he put out, the announcement out twice. Um, I think he was following PR 1-on-1, be active to shut something down, be active to separate yourself from it. But I actually think I actually think that's the right strategy for him, but it's not the right strategy for the greater good of the world, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
yeah, that's actually, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Because what you're going to get is you're going to
I
get
follow you.
more people trying to do this stuff and mention big players on the internet. Yeah, I mean, he's opened a floodgate. There was the shooting in Los Angeles at the synagogue this week, and the guy tried to
San
stream
Diego.
it on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. It sucks. You know, it's really sad is to think about if we had internet and this kind of technology back, in World War II days, and like, there's been violence and stuff like this going on for so long in this humankind, and it's now it's just we can see it more, and it's sad to see that people don't value life. I don't want to say like they should, because that's not necessarily true, but it's just there's just I don't know. It's We're getting really deep into this for sure, which is not something that we I don't know. This is the first cPanel ever. It's not like we have to not do this.
Well, I
It's
think
just we
I think what you're trying to
can do
say
whatever we
is that,
want.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that um, people try and paint the world as a perfect place, and when something's
yeah,
not
yeah,
perfect, there seems to be more hysteria around it now. But
yeah,
my experience is that there's badness on every corner. You just got to make sure you're
yeah.
not on the corner at the wrong time. Um, you know,
That's very true.
we had a young girl murdered within 400 meters of our front door only a couple of years ago, and all the older residents came out and said, "Oh, it's such a quiet place. It never happens." Well, the next month it happened in the next suburb over, and then the next month it happens in the next suburb over. Um,
Yeah.
6 months later, we had the guy who, don't want to get too graphic, but attacked his brother with a samurai sword in the car park of the shopping center, and that guy's still on the run. They still haven't caught him after 2 years. Um, so it happens all
Hmm.
around us.
Samurai
The
sword.
world is not the smiley, happy place that people want it to be. And whether that's from car accidents or workplace accidents or actually human on humans or humans on animals, it's just
Yeah,
not
it's just now we get the delivery system worldwide is just we see all of it at once, and it's overwhelming. People didn't get this before. It was just like, the local person got robbed today, and you're just like, oh, that's sad. But now it's like there's bombings going off here and everything's going off here, and it's just it's too much. And there's people that go off social media and they find way more happiness in it, because then they don't and news as well. And they, when I was on ships, I never watched the news. I never was on Facebook, and life seemed a lot better. But at the same time, I mean, we're on social media right now. You guys are watching us live. This is really fun, by the way. And thanks again, Sam, for trying to joke and say, hey, you couldn't hear me. I can't believe I did that, by the way. At the beginning, I joked and then I screwed that up.
Sam, that's not funny.
But anyways,
But I
this
think,
is
you know,
we're gonna wind it down. And or do you want one more point? Go for it. Throw it out. Throw it out there.
There is documented issues around news syndrome. So if you watch the news,
Yeah.
and believe in everything, you wouldn't step outside. Like, the news is not
Yeah.
a great place to watch if you want to be happy. And and I think the news channels and the TV channels need to take a bit more responsibility. I was only just watching that new Lego Masters show with my kids tonight, and we'd recorded
Yeah.
on Foxtel, and so we're lucky enough that we can fast forward through the news updates and the ads. But you're looking on the news updates and you've got a guy being shot in a park, a woman who'd been murdered after being raped, who was a
Oh
prostitute,
yeah. Yeah.
and then you got And then you got a current affair comes on, and they're talking about the married politician who's paying strippers in a strip club, and they're showing the video of it. And this is in a show aimed at
For
kids.
kids. Yeah.
Right. And even in the show itself, in the Lego Masters show, they're letting contestants, and I know people might think I'm being a bit of a I don't know, a wuss or a soft
Get off my
blanket or
lawn.
whatever. But the contestants in the show are using words like shit and stuff like that.
Oh,
Now,
wow. Okay.
and
Interesting.
that's not a big deal to me, but to a 9-year-old girl, not even a 9-year-old girl, a 9-year-old, sorry. I don't want my 9-year-old watching a show about Lego where the contestants are swearing, and then in the ad breaks they're watching news breaks about people being shot and murdered, or kids finding guns in parks that were used to murder someone.
Yeah, it's weird how like Australian like news like on TV shows, you can swear, things like that. In America, they would like, you would get fined if you said a swear word on live TV, or if they aired something like that. Like, it's so like cookie cutter over there, which is a good thing and it's a bad thing. I don't know.
Well, that used to be my job.
But
so my very first job in TV was checking ads and episodes for that sort of stuff, and definitely back then, and we're talking late 90s, early 2000s, is it no swearing before 8:30. And even the news breaks were different prior to 8:30 than after 8:30. And those standards have slipped. And I think what we're seeing is, standards online going up, because people are seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what PewDiePie's looking at. He's like, no, let's step above this. And I don't want my stuff. I don't want my stuff hijacked by undesirables. So I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to make a stand. Where TV, is struggling, so they're going for more of an impact. It's interesting times.
Interesting times. Well, I think that for this show, I think that we're looking to aim for about an hour, unless just an hour. That seems pretty good. So, I think that we're coming to an end. People are asking me to do the F-bomb. Maybe we'll see in a second here. But I hope you enjoyed this cPanel thing. It's just gonna be. I'm looking to do a little bit more of this kind of regular stuff on this live stream channel. I don't know. I want to say that we might continue again next Tuesday, but I might, stop it and then have a look at it and assess it and see how, when I should bring it back and what I should do. I like these idea little segments and putting up little graphics and stuff like that too, just to keep it really interesting. But for the most part, it's been fun having the better internet here to see and test this out. And so I appreciate you guys bearing with us through any problems or whatever, and especially with Creaky's tech problems for some reason, which we'll have to resolve before it.
You and I had the equal amount of tech problems.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You were talking for 2.5 minutes before you started to read the comments.
I know. And then and you don't even want to know what I was saying. I was like, I saw that people were writing to me, and I was like, I did that on purpose. And I was saying that, and I was like, I even know that Emma's gonna pop in saying something, and then I realized even after all that I was still muted. Anyways. Thanks, guys, again for being here for cPanel. Thank Creaky for being part of the panel this week, and who knows what's going to happen next week. But thanks for being here, and I'm glad you guys had fun. Chandy, Sal, hopefully I'll get your video out soon. I'm doing a creator shout out for him, and I'm struggling to make that video. But if you're in Sydney tomorrow, let me know.
You'll spell Brisbane right on the bottom tile.
What are you talking about? Brisbane. Isn't that not right?
Made you look.
You're joking. I hate you. All right, guys. Thanks for another first rousing episode of cPanel.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. See you guys later. Roll the outro. Roll the outro. Do we do this?
I can't hear the music.
No, just end it.
Congratulations.